Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Health 360. This week on the show, we're telling you all about sleep, the precious commodity that everybody wants. Everybody is trying to get in some good sleep. Why is sleep becoming such a rare commodity, and what all are people trying to do to get in the maximum hours of sound quality sleep? Also on the show, body mass index BMI is out, BRI, body roundness index is in. Why was BMI an inaccurate measure of how healthy you are? We're also going to be telling you about your belly, your pot belly, which could be indicative of high amount of stress. That and many more such trending big stories coming up ahead on the show. I'm Sneha Mordani. Look around you, look at yourself. Do you and others around you have an unexplained pot belly, slim overall but have a belly sticking out? What could it be? Could it be junk food? Could it be alcohol? Could it be binge eating? Could it be a bad lifestyle, not exercising? Or could it be a stress belly, a cortisol belly? What exactly is a stress belly? We'll tell you more. This, ladies and gentlemen, dark circles under your eyes, puffy eyes is a sign of stress. This too, a stiff neck, a stiff shoulder and constant pain, perhaps in the nape of your neck, a sign of stress. But what about this? A belly that sticks out in an otherwise slim person. Now research says that this pot belly could also be related to stress. In fact, there is a lot of research that indicates that this indeed is a stress belly. It's also called a cortisol belly. Belly fat or abdominal fat is the most dangerous type of fat accumulation and can affect function of internal organs and cause insulin resistance, fatty liver, heart disease, high blood pressure and diabetes. Stress can disrupt many body functions. As a response to stress, cortisol, a steroid hormone, is released, which in excess can lead to many physical and mental health problems.
You cannot burn fat if your cortisol levels are high. Cortisol is very anabolic to fat storage and catabolic to muscles, which is the exact opposite of what we want. One of the main reasons that aggravate cortisol levels is stress, which means stress is directly aggravating your weight gain. You can literally eat the best diet possible and still gain weight if your stress levels are high. And then of course for women, it gets much harder as they go through menopause and lose estrogen and testosterone, the two most essential hormones required to regulate fat storage and burn.
So how does one really tackle stress belly?
Some of the things which should be important and should be a part of daily activities or should be followed at most of the times is that having a good sleep routine, having a sleep routine which almost is the same every day. So it's important to understand that nutrition not only contributes to good physical health but can be really the stepping stone to good mental well-being. Beyond this, what is important is we need to have good social networking. Social networking doesn't mean just having networking which is useful for professional growth. It means having good social connections.
The basics of a good lifestyle: yoga, meditation, hydration. Avoiding stress will work wonders to get a flatter belly. In addition to the right kind of exercises, including strength training and getting in a mix of high intensity and low intensity workouts. exercises like leg raises, Russian twist, half oblique crunches, hollow holds, and even planks help in dealing with abdominal fat.
Lifestyle plays an important role in accumulation of belly fat. There is a hormone called cortisol which plays an important role when we talk about belly fat. Cortisol is not bad at all because it is produced by the body for the brain functioning. But if, as per Ayurveda, if your body is imbalanced in kapha and your ama is in the physiology of the body, definitely cortisol will not do good, it will do bad for you. You can have good fats, healthy fats like avocados, seeds, almonds, even cashew nuts are rich in magnesium, and flax seeds, omega 3, omega 6, that helps and gives you that cushioning also to your cells and the body.
Eating fats in moderation in eating right is always imperative.
Excess of visceral fat, it leads to the release and stimulation of a hormone known as cortisol, and this cortisol hormone leads to deposition of this visceral fat, leads to PCOD, can leads to PCOD. In PCOD, insulin resistance is very common, and this insulin resistance can be caused by this excess of visceral fat, and because of this a female can have menstrual irregularities like delay of periods, scanty menses and irregular periods.
Visceral fat can damage your overall health. It can lead to liver dysfunction and kidney ailments. That belly in women can be detrimental to their reproductive health as well. It can cause a PCOS belly. What's clear is that looking at this, a stress belly as a cosmetic problem really isn't the solution. There is just so much more to a cortisol belly than just eating bad kind of food. We know that stress is directly linked to it. There are many other issues that could be causing you a stress belly, a pot belly. What's clear is that the approach to fixing this problem has to be holistic. Body mass index that takes into account your weight and your height and does not differentiate between the weight of your muscle and weight of your fat may actually not be a good indicator or measurement as far as your health is concerned. Hence, body roundness index comes in. Experts say it gives a more accurate picture as far as your health measurements are concerned. What is BRI? We're telling you more. For the longest time, health experts have looked at our BMI, our body mass index, to determine how healthy our weight is. Body mass index or BMI is a measure of body fat based on height and weight that applies to adult men and women. BMI is a tool that healthcare providers use to estimate the amount of body fat by using your height and your weight measurements. It can help assess risk factors for certain health conditions. But it turns out that BMI is not always an accurate representation of body fatness. Firstly, what is BMI really used for? Healthcare providers use BMI to help diagnose weight types and as a screening tool for certain health conditions. Experts are exploring a new method now for measuring obesity, which is called the Body Roundness Index or BRI, which is said to offer a more accurate assessment than the traditional body mass index. How is BRI calculated and can it replace BMI fully? The Body Roundness Index or BRI considers an individual's height and waist circumference to assess their health status. It measures how round or circular a person's body shape is by using a formula that considers height and waist circumference but not the weight. The BRI, many experts opine, is a more accurate assessment of central obesity and abdominal fat, both of which are strongly associated with an elevated risk of developing type 2 diabetes, hypertension and heart disease, in comparison to fat stored in the buttocks and thighs.
The body roundness index is more apt as it tells you about the fat distribution of the body. It tells you about the outcome in form of the cardiac diseases, endocrinological diseases like diabetes and all, and it tells you even about the chances of death in a person as compared to a simple body mass index.
So who has developed BRI? It was first developed by mathematician Diana Thomas, now a professor at the United States Military Academy in West Point, New York. She first introduced this index in a 2013 article in the journal Obesity. What really is the problem with the body mass index? The BMI is a simple height to weight ratio which has been a regular in medical examination for years. It is still one of the most commonly used health measures. It's also criticized for categorizing people as overweight, obese, severely obese. It also does not tell the difference between fat and muscle, and that's where the problem really is.
Now, what is important here is to understand that different people have different kind of body setups. Now, somebody may be very heavy as compared to another guy, but the person's muscle mass could be more as compared to the fat, while somebody who is light but has a large amount of fat is actually supposed to be less healthy as compared to somebody with the more muscle mass. So this is the problem with the body mass index, where you are not considering any of the muscle masses or the fat index, but you are just taking into consideration the height and the weight irrespective of anything else.
A BMI of lower than 18.5 is considered malnourished, underweight. Between 18.5 and 25 is normal weight, from 25 to 30 as overweight, beyond 30 as obese. The metric has been questioned by athletes and bodybuilders. By measuring both waist circumference and height, BRI generates a value typically between 1 and 20, with extreme values suggesting higher health risks. Red light therapy, mouth taping, jaw straps, magnesium, ashwagandha. People are doing what they can, resorting to using many of these products, digital trackers even, to maximize their sleep. The trend is known as sleep maxing on social media. What exactly is it, and why are so many people going for sleep maxing? Good sleep is a rare commodity. For some folks, the value of good sleep is in gold. Hence, getting the maximum number of hours of some shut-eye is actually on top of the priority list of many people. Getting the maximum amount of sleep and doing all kinds of things to achieve that. Sleep maxing is a social media trend that's growing in popularity. The trend encompasses a range of advice, products, practices aimed at improving sleep quality. What is sleep maxing? So sleep maxing is a trend where people strive to perfect their sleep by eliminating potential disturbances and using various sleep-enhancing tools and supplements such as this, mouth taping. You literally tape your mouth so that you encourage nasal breathing. It's supposed to lead to sound sleep, but there are some problems associated with it. There are other things that people do apart from using a tape on their mouth, which is magnesium oil or supplements, sleep trackers, jaw straps, red light therapy, tart cherry juice, melatonin supplements, ashwagandha. Now on TikTok and Instagram, the trend is a blazing one.
What we have come across is the sleep maxing thing, that they are trying to put up the tapes across their faces, they are trying to rebreathe into the kind of poly bags, or they are trying to take up drugs like melatonin. Now remember one thing, what is important is the natural cycle of your body is that you require 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And you need it without taking any extra kind of activity like taking melatonin or any other drugs. So what you do is you are actually playing with your body. Now once you start playing with your body, just remember one thing, initially you are going to play with your body, but once your body gets used to it, then it starts playing with you.
Red light therapy, often considered harmless, can also provide a safe, natural solution to insomnia. It can help stimulate the production of the sleep hormone, melatonin, which is naturally produced by the body as it gets closer to bedtime, in keeping with your circadian rhythm. Now, while it's something that's made naturally by the body, it can also be stimulated by external factors such as limiting screen time, exercising, and eating certain foods. But there are dozen other simple ways to try and get a good night's sleep without going into extremes, like relying on digital trackers that anyway expose you to too much technology. The fear of not sleeping well enough can make falling asleep more difficult. Trends like sleep maxing also increase the pressure to sleep well, which can prevent you from falling asleep. The more you chase your sleep, the faster it runs away from you. In this week's Ask Your Doctor segment, we're telling you all about testosterone therapy. What exactly is it? Why has Hollywood actor Kate Winslet gone for testosterone therapy? She talks about it as an essential treatment to boost her libido. Is that so? What is this therapy? Does it actually boost your libido? And should you be going for it? We have all your questions answered.
Kate Winslet has done it. Determine if testosterone levels have dropped, helping to address potential issues that could affect mood, energy, fertility, and overall well-being. But is it for everyone?
Testosterone therapy, it is mainly advisable in women age group between 40 to 60 years of age group, those who have attained menopause, surgical menopause, or those who are approaching perimenopausal age group, those who have symptoms because of less estrogen like less libido, less sexual desire, depression, mood changes, etc. Testosterone itself has its side effects. Like testosterone, it increases the hair growth in the body, it can cause deepening of voice, it can lead to hirsutism, and can also increase the risk of malignancies like breast cancer, colon cancer, etc.
By sharing her story, Winslet hopes to empower women to seek answers about their health and well-being. She encourages them to understand that hormone fluctuations are a natural part of aging and that support is available.
A quick check of news around the world of health and wellness in our Health Wrap. Antimicrobial resistance, which is a growing threat now. Imagine a situation where you are ill and you take an antibiotic and it does not help your situation. That is resistance to a medicine, to an antibiotic, which is a global threat, causing 1.27 million deaths in 2019 and contributing to 4.95 million more. It occurs when bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites become resistant to drugs, making infections harder to treat. Misuse and overuse of antimicrobials accelerate this resistance. In India, rising AMR is making common infections like urinary tract infections increasingly difficult to treat by standard antibiotics. And these are losing effectiveness. That's a huge concern. Gram-negative bacteria, responsible for many UTIs, are becoming highly resistant. If unchecked, AMR could result in 39 million deaths by the year 2050, posing a severe health risk.
The first line of antibiotics, almost all are getting, the organisms are getting resistant to the first line of defense, the first line of antibiotics. And we are having to move to combination of antibiotics or the next level of antibiotics to treat urinary tract infections.
A dangerous link established between alcohol and 6 types of cancer. Not even a drop of alcohol is safe. Not even a drop of it. Be under no illusion. Drinking alcohol is linked to an increased risk of 6 types of cancers: head and neck cancer, esophageal, squamous cell carcinoma, breast cancer, colorectal cancer, liver cancer, stomach cancer. While light to moderate alcohol use was once thought to offer some health benefits, a lot of people talk about it now as well, the fact is that it is a myth. Research shows that there is no health benefit whatsoever associated with alcohol consumption. Health organizations, including the World Health Organization, have emphasized this. For women, consuming 3 drinks per week raises the risk of breast cancer by 15%, with an additional 10% risk increase for each extra daily drink. Alcohol's link to cancer is a significant public health concern.
You will be surprised that overall, worldwide, alcohol is contributing to 3 million global deaths because of various issues, being it cancer, being in liver-related disorder or cardiovascular disorder. So yeah, the motto is very clear that no ounce of alcohol is acceptable and every effort should be done to restrain the same.
Food packaging chemicals raise big health concerns. The commonly used cardboard for packaging and plastic, including cling wraps, could be poisoning you. A recent study identified 200 chemicals in food packaging materials that may increase the risk of breast cancer. Conducted by the Food Packaging Forum and published in Frontiers of Toxicology, the study found 143 harmful chemicals in plastic packaging and 89 in cardboard, including PFAs, bisphenols and phthalates, substances already known to be hazardous. Evidence points to the exposure of 76 suspected breast cancer carcinogens from food contact materials worldwide. In total, over 3,600 chemicals, including some known carcinogens, can transfer from food packaging into humans. Researchers emphasize the need for preventive measures to reduce these risks in everyday products.
There is endless examples where I can just comfortably say that plastic is something which has gone into our daily routine and sometimes we even don't know. You'll be surprised, out of those 12,000 chemicals, 900 has been exclusively been linked to the plastic manufacturing, and out of those 900, 63 are something which we have to be careful about because they have been linked for the human cancers. Inert materials like glass, stainless steels or ceramics, they are completely devoid of any kind of leaching process. So they are for us the safest way to store your food or consume your food.
Rising suicide rates in India. Recent incidents highlight a troubling rise in suicide rates in India among students, with notable cases occurring in September, including a NEET topper and students from prestigious institutions. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, over 13,000 suicides among students were reported in 2022. It's actually a 64% increase over the past decade, with a 4% annual growth rate noted by the International Career and College Counseling Institute.
You know, students spend most of their time at school. They spend up to 8 hours in school and they are constantly striving to achieve perfection, great scores. They are working towards constant examinations. So because of this, it also takes an impact on your physical health. You lose sleep, you overeat, you undereat. Now you're going through cognitive dysfunction and physical dysfunction.
Work stress linked to rising suicides. Tarun Saxena, an employee of Bajaj Finance, tragically died by suicide in Jhansi, in UP, allegedly due to severe work pressure. In the suicide note, he described the harrowing conditions of work, saying that senior management exerted undue pressure to meet deadlines and threatened salary deductions for failure to do so. He reported being coerced to recover unpaid EMIs and expressed his worsening mental and physical health, saying that he has not slept for 45 days. I am under stress. The police found him dead in his home, where he had locked his wife and children in another room before taking this extreme step. Well, that brings us to the end of this edition of Health 360. You can catch this report and many more stories around health, wellness and fitness up on India Today's website, which is indiatoday.in. You could also download the app. Health 360 stories that are featured here on the show can also be found on all of India Today's social media platforms, which you can access, read. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share, comment on. Our social media handles are YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. From the entire team of Health 360, take care of yourself. Bye for now.